Hello, welcome to Natalie's Crafts. I'm Natalie. I always do all the crafting. And today we're going to take a look at a few of the wood crafts that I've done that I've really enjoyed and I use right now and I like. So go ahead and leave a comment down below. Give me a big thumbs up and also make sure to subscribe. Whenever you subscribe, you should hit the bell so that you know when the next video comes out. So let's go ahead, jump right in and go take a look. The supplies. And I got one of these little, is that a hexagon? I believe tray, $3 at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use a dishwasher safe ModPodge. I'm doing that because I am going to put a coaster in here to hold my drinks. And I figured that's a simple way to make it a little bit better. If it gets wet, it's not going to resolve any problems, but it at least will make it better. It won't kill the wood. And I'm going to, of course, I have to include my black. You know, I can't just leave it natural. So I'm going to go ahead and tape the top half off. And I am going to paint the bottom of the little tray black. Now, I did go through, I put the tape all the way around, and then I did go through and actually squeegee it down just to make sure I didn't get any bleedage in there. And this tape, I think this is just probably even maybe Dollar Tree painter's tape. And then I'm just going to use a regular brush and I'm just going to brush with the grain of the wood. For some reason, I believe that's better when you're using the tape. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to paint the bottom black. And I have that little Lazy Susan that I made to make it easier to paint when it needs to be up off the ground, up off the table. And then it's also easier when I dry it. So I just still use a hairdryer to dry the paint. Chalk paint, it's best to use the cool setting, so that's what I do. And then the best part is revealing that really nice straight line with no bleedage. I did paint a little bit on the bottom around the edges so that you wouldn't see any of the wood come through if you were to pick up the piece. And here we're going to make a bottom for the piece. We're going to put felt on the bottom and we're going to put leather on the inside. So this is kind of cool. So I'm just cutting out the piece on a piece of paper and making a template basically so I can cut the leather and the felt. And then we just got to make sure that it fits. Which is it's a little tight, so I did end up cutting just a little bit off in the corner there. And then we're going to take our felt and we're going to line it up, or line the paper up on the felt, I guess. And we're going to go ahead and cut that out. Now, I just cut a big square out first, and then I went back and used a pencil to line it, make a line around the paper to cut it out. And then we'll make sure it fits okay. There was a couple little spots where the line wasn't straight enough because I did just use regular scissors. So I'm going through and using a ruler, basically a metal ruler, and I'm just going to cut off that little bit of edge that wasn't straight. And this is that Dollar Tree rolling knife. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I call it. And then we're going to hot glue the felt down onto the bottom. And remember, I left the edges just a little bit black on the edges. Not the whole bottom because we didn't need to do all that. But the edges just in case you could see through. And then I'm using the scraper just to push down that felt to make sure it's super flat with no bumps. And then we're basically going to do the same thing for the leather. Now the leather is going to go inside the tray, so it's just a tiny bit smaller. So you do have to make that modification, but we can basically use the same template. And for this leather, I'm using a narrow tip Sharpie. And then make sure, cut it out, and then make sure it fits. And again, it was a little off, so I did cut off one of the edges. And I'm just using hot glue to glue it in. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to sit outside or anything, so I think hot glue is just fine. And then I wanted handles on it. I wasn't sure. I had taken out some wood leaves that I was going to put on there, but I didn't like the way that was going to turn out. So instead, I took these little Coach I don't know what it is, some sort of decoration I had on some shoes that I was throwing out. And I really like the little decoration, so I use those. And then I'm going to use some scraps of that leather. So I just made little straps to connect it, and that's the little coach thing that was on my shoe. Next is the Crafty Couple, and they made this really cool looking design there. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I didn't have the materials that they had, and again, Dollar Tree in my area sucks, so I used what I had. I had these little wooden boxes, which if I would have thought about it beforehand, they're already the correct color, but I didn't think about it, so here I go staining stuff. And the legs that I used these legs because I didn't have a smaller box to put inside the box. If you watch the Crafty Couples channel, you'll see what I mean by that. But I put these little legs on. I should have just left them the natural color because that's what I liked so much about theirs, was that it was just a natural, really light wood. And I had that, but for some reason, I thought I had to stain it. I don't know why. So anyway, it looks good though, so I'm good with it. I'm happy with it. But you can leave this just with no stain, no paint, or anything. And if you do decide to stain it, make sure you stain all sides. The bottom piece, the piece that's going to be the bottom of the, it's not a lantern, but basically that's what it is. You don't have to stain it as well or underneath, but I did anyway because I want it to look complete. So I did stain everything. And because I had to use these little drawers that have those cutouts on the side, I had to use popsicle sticks to basically cover up the cutouts. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to just glue some popsicle sticks on, or craft sticks, because these are very wide. We're going to glue those on and cover up those holes. Now, my hands were not cooperating with me this day, so I couldn't just cut them. Normally, I would just cut the craft sticks, but that wasn't going to work out this day. So I had to use a knife, and if your hands worked, you would just cut this with scissors, and it would be so easy. But not for me, not this day. So I'm going to use my knife, and that's fine. I do what I can. And then we're just going to make sure it fits the way we need it and cut both sides. And then I'm going to glue these little legs on the bottom. You wouldn't have to put legs on, but it's just that little added touch that I liked. And I'm going to use both wood glue and hot glue for this. Now, the legs, you do not need to glue that whole side. And I don't know, I guess I was just getting glue happy here, and I just wanted to just slap on a bunch of glue. But you only need enough glue to cover where it's going inside the box. And then I put a little dot of hot glue on the bottom so that it sticks right away. And then there I figure out, oh, why did I glue the whole thing? So then I had to wipe all that glue off. Then if you watch the Crafty Couple, because they will walk you through what's going on here. But basically the two pieces that are holding the boxes together, I painted those black and put two of them in an L shape. And then I'm going to glue the boxes to the L shape. And again, I'm using both hot glue and wood glue. And then I end up using a stapler as well, because I also wanted to staple it down to make it very secure. And then we're going to go ahead and put the second one on. Now, how high or low you want it is completely up to you. This, make it yours, make it your craft. I just looked at it and said, yeah, that looks good. That's where I want it. So that's where I put it. I didn't measure. I have no idea. Maybe an inch or so from the top. I don't know. And again, we're going to both wood glue and hot glue. Now this part probably would have been good to measure to make sure you're in the middle, but so I'm going to staple the box to the wood, to the stakes. And these are actually fence post stakes from Home Depot. I didn't find the garden stakes at Dollar General or Walmart for that matter, so I'm using these from Home Depot. These I bought these quite a while ago to make a frame out of. Never actually made the frame, but that's okay. They're coming in handy now. And then we're just going to glue the other stake on the other side. Make sure you have the good side. And then again, wood glue and hot glue. Just putting little measurements there so I know exactly where my wood glue should stop. And then for the top piece, we're going to glue the end of that black stick. Now, it's done. I didn't show it, so I apologize for that. But I wanted something on the bottom. It was just a little bit wobbly. So I put these little felt pads at the bottom of each foot. And on one of those feet, I put 2 felt pads. And that evened it out just enough so that it was straight and even and wasn't wobbly in any way. And so we're just going to hot glue those little pads or those little felt pieces onto the bottom of the legs, which also helps put it in a very nice frame that I love. But there's the little stand. There are the little cat toys that are no longer cat toys, but they are decor now. And the stand and the painting, that's on the poster board. Green tray. I saw this on the Crafty DIY guy. He did a haul and he showed this and he said this would be a great tray, basically. And I took the idea and I ran with it because I had to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use this craft paper for the bottom there inside each little section. And I'm going to paint the whole box. So I was trying to decide whether I was going to do the barn stain or the black. But you know me, I always go for the black. So that's what I did. So we're going to paint everything. The inside, the outside, the back. Now because the paper is going in the little drawers or slots, you don't have to paint that full bottom inside because the paper will cover that. But everything else needs a good true, especially if you're doing black, a good true rich black cover. And then of course, you know, for those of you that like distressing, of course you would then distress it. I don't do that very often, so I didn't here either. But here I'm going to go ahead and get the inside. Now I'm just going to cover a little bit into the middle so that if my paper is a little off, it won't show the wood. It'll show only the black. So I'm just going to paint it all around. And you got to make sure too that you get the edges of the wood there, that like right there where I was just showing. I'm sorry it's so far away. I'm having some serious phone problems, some serious camera problems. And then I'm just going to measure. This was approximately 3 1/4 inches. And so I'm just going to measure and make the lines so that I can then cut the paper to fit. Now, if you wanted them all to match, if you wanted each box to be the same design, obviously you would do this a little different. I wanted it to be different in each box, so I chose 4 different papers that I liked. And these are just, this is just gold and white. I think it's Christmas, actually. Christmas cardstock that I got. I didn't even get it this year. I don't know when I got it. I've had this for a while. It was in my stash that was saved. So then I have to figure out, make sure the size works, because then I'm going to use that one as the template for all the others. So there's the 4 patterns that I chose. And of course, you know, do what you need to do. Do it how you want it to look. And I'm going to use wood glue. I don't know why I did wood glue. I don't know, because I guess the box was wood. The paper is wood, I guess. I don't know. But I chose wood glue, and I am just going to drop it in there, but then paint it around so it's a smoother finish. And then we're just going to go ahead and put the paper down. Now, I could have used ModPodge. I was worried about wrinkling, though, so I didn't use ModPodge on the bottom. I did actually ModPodge the top, on top of the paper. And then I have to make feet because, you know, I want feet on everything. So I use these little blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to paint them black. Or I'm going to leave one side unpainted because that'll be the side I'm going to glue. And to glue it, I'm going to use both wood glue and hot glue. Because I do need that, or I do want that immediate hold. But then wood glue so it lasts a little longer. And I'm putting it right near the corner. I mean, very close to the corner. And I put 5 of those blocks, one in the middle and then one on each corner. And there we go. That's what we've got. Got my little earrings in there, and the room spray that I keep in the bathroom, and then the diffuser that I keep in the bathroom. And as you can see, my diffuser sticks are black because I love black, so of course they're black. Sorry about that. Thanks for stopping by today. I sure hope that you give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below and also subscribe. And of course, when you subscribe, you should hit the bell so that you know when the next video comes out. Please do make sure to appreciate today, as tomorrow is never promised. Y'all have a great one.